Hey there, planners. Today I want to talk about managing your to-do list. Our to-do list can get out of control very quickly, especially if you are being thorough about capturing all the things you need to do. There are a few tried and true, tested, proven methods for managing your to-do list, and the key is all about prioritization. That's what we're going to be talking about today, so go grab your planners and let's get planning. I don't know about your world, but my world is super busy right now. It's the time of year, it's the season of my life. There's just a lot going on, and it can be very difficult to manage all those tasks and activities that I need to do, or I need to make sure others are doing, because that's part of it as well. And that applies to both my home life, my professional life, just kind of for this channel, all kinds of areas. So it's really important when you have a lot of things to do to make sure that you are prioritizing your tasks and activities based on their importance and their urgency. And that's how we ensure that we are using our time effectively and that we are getting the things done that will have the most positive impact on our lives. Today, I want to talk about 3 methods that are really tried and true methods for helping you prioritize your to-do list. Because if you're not prioritizing, how do you know you're doing the right thing at the right time that's going to have the biggest impact, right? So I'm going to talk about 3 ways that you can prioritize, think about your to-do list, prioritize your to-dos, and really have the most impact. Before I dive in, let me just say, for those of you who are brand new here, we are super excited to have you. If you love planning, being productive, getting things done, nailing a to-do list, using planner systems and planners while also enjoying all the stationery supplies, then you have definitely found the right place in your tribe. We are a tribe of planner enthusiasts who love to share our ideas with each other. I hope you will consider joining by subscribing and becoming part of our tribe. Make sure you check out the comments below. There's always a lively discussion there. All right, so the first method I'm going to talk to you about when it comes to prioritizing your to-do list is the Eisenhower Method. The Eisenhower Matrix is a popular tool for prioritizing tasks and activities, and you're really looking at their importance and their urgency of each one of your tasks. The matrix divides, let's just say you want to put this in a page and actually work through it. The matrix divides the page into 4 quadrants, and then you have along the vertical axis, you have not important, and along the horizontal axis, you have urgent to not urgent. So you've got 4 quadrants here that include urgent but important, urgent but not important, important but not urgent, not urgent, not important. So this really helps you think about your task. And let's say, for example, that I have a task. I've just got some example task here, like call my mom, paint my toenails, submit a payment, make a grocery list, schedule a vet appointment, batch record content for next month, eat ice cream, just some to-dos, right? So let me take eat ice cream. So you could go a lot of different ways with this, but I'm going to say that this activity is important to me because I love ice cream and I really want some. I'm having a craving for ice cream right now, but it's not really urgent. I can do it tonight. I can do it tomorrow. I could do it this weekend. I'll have more time. So I'm going to put this in the important but not urgent quadrant of the matrix. Now let's say I go with submit a payment. It has a certain due date. So this is going to be important and urgent. So I'm going to put this in the important and urgent quadrant. Let's say I'm going to paint my toenails. My toenails are looking pretty bad right now. I've got chipped polish. They need to be clipped. My toes aren't pretty right now. So it is kind of urgent. I need to get to this pretty quickly. But in the grand scheme of life, this is not the most important activity. I can throw some tennis shoes on. So I'm going to say this is urgent, but not important. And then finally, I'm going to call my mom. And let's say when I made my to-do list, I had not talked to my mom, but since I made my to-do list, I have talked to my mom. So now this activity is not urgent and not important because I've already talked to her. So I'm going to put this down here in the not urgent, not important box. So now you can see how you start to think about this. So when I go to actually execute on my to-do list, to do the activities, I'm going to be focusing on the things that are urgent and important because these are the tasks that should be done first and given the highest priority. The important but not urgent task, these are the tasks that should be scheduled for a later time. They're important, so they're given priority, but they don't have to be done right now. It's not where I want to put my first focus. The urgent but not important task, these can, in some cases, be delegated. So maybe I just stop by the salon. I don't actually do this task. I delegate this to someone at the nail salon. Or these can be scheduled for a later time. And the not urgent, not important tasks don't need to be done right now. They can be canceled. So I can actually cancel this since I've just talked to my mom, I can cancel this activity altogether. I don't need it on my list of to-dos. So that is how the Eisenhower matrix works. The Eisenhower Prioritization Method is its official name, or also known as the Eisenhower Matrix. It's actually named after the former U.S. President, Dwight D. Eisenhower, and it is said that he used this method to prioritize his tasks and activities. Now, do we really know if he used this method? Not quite sure, but what I love about this method is it's very simple, and I actually use this method quite a bit, but I don't actually draw out the matrix. I'm familiar enough with it now that I just kind of think about this in my head. Is this urgent and important? Is this urgent but not important? I kind of think through that when I am capturing my to-do list and looking at it and figuring out where I need to focus. So this is one of the methods that I think will really help you prioritize your to-dos. All right, the next method for managing your to-do list, prioritizing tasks that I want to talk about today is the ABCDE method. And this method was developed by Brian Tracy, who is an author and motivational speaker. He wrote the book, Eat That Frog, 21 Great Ways to Stop Procrastination and Get More Done in Less Time. As you guys know, I'm on a productivity journey and I'm reading a bunch of content, reading a bunch of productivity books. And so this one was on my list. ABCDE method categorizes your tasks and activities into different priority levels. So each of these is a priority level. And again, it's thinking about importance and urgency. So let me just walk through some of these using my to-dos again. So let's say I want to think about what goes into A. These are going to be the most important and the highest priority. And I'm going to put my submit a payment in that bucket because it is the most important. Let's say it's my mortgage, right? I need to pay my mortgage or pay my rent. This is really important because I need a place to live. And it is the most urgent because usually with a payment, there's a due date, so it gets the highest priority. B tasks are tasks and to-dos that must be completed, but actually they can wait. So I'm going to take schedule a vet appointment, and let's say, I do need to schedule it, but I have a month or so before, it's actually due to be done. So it is very important, but it can wait. C tasks are nice to do, but they're not essential. So I'm actually going to put paint my toenails in there. I'm going to put paint my toenails. It's really nice to do that, but it's really not essential. I can get by without painting my toenails. D tasks are tasks that can be postponed. I'm going to put call mom in there because let's say I've already talked to my mom. If my mom is watching this, I'm not suggesting at all that I'm delaying on the task of calling you, but let's just pretend we just talked. All right, and then finally, tasks that can be eliminated. I'm going to put eat ice cream in the E column because I don't need to eat ice cream anyway. I'm trying to watch my waistline, and so I don't need to be eating ice cream anyway. So you can see how The ABCDE method is another strategy for prioritizing your tasks and activities and categorizes tasks into 5 categories versus 4 categories. I use this method very similarly to the way that I use the Eisenhower matrix. There's just an additional category, and so it gives you a little bit more room to spread tasks out. I think that there is a bit of ambiguity between B, C, and D. So some of these, I struggle sometimes with more categories to put items in. I actually prefer fewer categories. So but it is another tool in the toolbox to pull out if needed. And again, once you get used to thinking about your task like this, you may not necessarily have to draw it out and actually put your task in those boxes. All right, the final method I want to talk to you about is a method with a funny acronym. It is the Moscow Method, which is an acronym. It was developed in the 90s by a guy named Day Clegg, who was a computer scientist and project manager, and this method was originally developed to be used in software development projects, but quickly discovered that it could be applied in a lot of different areas, a lot of other areas. So this is a prioritization technique that is categorizing, once again, things into 4 different categories: must have, should have, could have, won't have. So let's talk about how we do it. Must have are the tasks that are critical and must be completed for the success of whatever you're trying to do. So once again, I would put submit a payment in there. That's critical. Keeping my mortgage or my rent paid is extremely critical to what I'm trying to do, which is to have a successful life. Should have are important tasks that should be completed but can be rescheduled if necessary. So I'm going to put schedule my vet appointment there because I've got a little bit of time before it's due, so I can put that in the should have. Could have are the tasks that are desirable but not essential and actually can be postponed or even eliminated. And again, I think painting my toenails falls into that category. And then won't have, these are the tasks that are not needed and can be eliminated altogether. And I'm going to put eating ice cream. And Mom, I'm going to put you in should have. No, I'm going to put you in must have this time. So that's how I would map out. So you see, it's very similar to some of the other methods where you're just thinking through the prioritization. And with the Moscow method, you're also thinking a little bit about like consequences if you do not do these. So I think that's really helpful as well. It's become a very popular tool for prioritizing tasks and requirements, particularly if you're thinking about within the framework of a project. So if you're working on a project, whether it's professional or personal, and you have all your tasks mapped out, this is a great tool for helping you map out the prioritization of tasks within the confines of that project. All right, so there are 3 quick and easy ways to help you prioritize your to-do list based on importance and urgency of the task that you have to do. I hope this was helpful to you. I would love to hear your input down in the comments below. What helps you manage your to-do list? Do you feel like your to-do list is overwhelming you, or do you feel like you have your arms around it? And if so, what tools are you using? Love to hear all your ideas down in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to Plannin' Annie for more content like this. And as always, thanks for planning with me.